Stupid idiot.
Well, and that's what's going to come here and that's my point about something that can't be controlled by anybody. And the Leafs will have no reason to control it because Marner's gone. So you have no reason to control the way the general public feels about him. And Mitch may not care. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's already gone.
I think he doesn't, Brian. He doesn't care.
Possibly not.
Well,
Possibly.
My question is...
He is from here, and he's likely going to live here and be here.
Yeah, but you know what it's like when you're mentally
life.
committed to just saying, I'm done with that place. You don't care what anybody thinks, and you're out the door, and you want to start fresh somewhere
So
else.
let me ask you guys. Let's project. Now, Toronto is not it's not a vindictive town. Canadians don't act that way generally. When let's say it's in Vegas, he signs in Vegas, he'll play here once a year the rest of his career. So he's not going to be here a lot. Let's say he's here next year, January 23rd. What do you think it's going to be like in that building?
Honestly, that was the question I was coming with too, and I was asked that today. I can't tell you the answer until we know the outcome. So you're saying if he signs with Vegas, correct? This is either a trade.
Sure. Regardless of whether there's a sign and trade or not.
Okay.
Let's just say he's out of here and he's in Vegas. And, then stories start coming out. Maybe we can't even go there because then it's projection and who knows what the hell is actually going on.
I'm going to say this. By judging of the last 10 minutes of that Game 7 against the Florida Panthers where he was booed touching the puck, and it was kind of like isolated where you could tell when he touched the puck. This might sound like some amateur fan, but I don't think it's going to be roses like, oh, great. I think fans just... I don't know. And I'm just going off of like Twitter where people are like, oh, Mitch did this and Mitch did that. At the end of the day, I don't know if the fan base is going to be capable of saying, you gave us some great years. You were one of the franchise best player. I'm going to give you a standing O. I really don't know if it's that simple. I don't.
No, I don't think it is. I think it'll be a conflicted crowd. I think it'll be a conflicted crowd.
I think that's the best way you could describe it.
Yeah.
Conflicted crowd.
Again, with Tavares, and it's different, I get it, but with Tavares, it was 100% vitriol and nasty and, like, screw this guy. Like, how dare you turn your back on this team? Which, again,
screw this guy because you screwed us.
Yes, exactly. Where if it's true that Marner last summer was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Vegas. I don't think Leaf fans are going to respond well to that. I don't think they should be expected to respond well to that. It's his life. It's his career. But it is sports, and, people have different reactions. We all know Toronto and Toronto sports fans are not wired like New Yorkers and New York sports fans. Like, New Yorkers are crazy about stuff like that. And it just got to a point where, like, when Tavares went down there, that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane when he went down there to play the Islanders for the first time.
I think it's 50-50. Don't you think it would be 50-50, the reaction? Like, a lot of boos, and then some people will be like, let's move on, depending on how the team's doing too. Like, the other thing too is if the team moves on and is chugging along, I think people are like, yeah, you gave us 9 years, it didn't work out, they're happy, things look differently. I think some people will have that thought process. Hayes, the minute he leaves, they hate him, and that's it. They want to kick him in the ass on the way out the door. I think it's 50-50.
And what is
though, man?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
What is different is my understanding, again, not being from Long Island or being an Islander fan, is that a large majority, if not everyone, wanted Tavares to stay. Where this is different. There's a large portion of the Leaf fan base that is waiting for Mitch to leave, like wants a change. Right. Just wants a different feel, that it's been 9 years. Something's got to give, DNA this, DNA that. If he wants to leave, go for it. And that's why I do think it'll be split. It's that I think a lot of people will just say, hey, it was the best for both parties. Like, that's kind of where I stand on this. Like, and you just got to go. Like, you're going to go. If he ends up in Vegas and it sounds like it, he's picking a great spot. To his credit. Yeah. Like, that's a team that wants to win, and it's a very good team, and sounds like he's going to get a long-term deal.
And one of the biggest things about it was the timing of it. His deal was up at this particular moment. If it was the other way around and it was Morgan Riley or it was William Nylander, it probably would have been them. But it just so happens that Mitch's deal's up. And like you say, it wasn't the whole idea of you're the one that's got to go. It's probably time to do something different.
Yes, and he is the one that's up.
It's not just about the player. It's about allocating money too. And maybe having two players at $6 million as opposed to one that makes 14 or wants 14. That's all it is. It's very simple stuff.
Well, and what you have now, because of the contracts that the Leafs have signed over the last few days, John Tavares on Friday, a 4-year deal at $14.3 million with deferred money, which is a huge, team-winning contract. Right now, John's going to be 35, right? We'll see what he is in 2 or 3 years, or maybe it's appropriate. I think that's important to point out. I think right now it's a great deal, and I credit Tavares. We talked about it extensively last week. We were yelling and screaming about it. I think it's in his best interest to do exactly what he did. Get out in front of it, sign the deal, make it look like it's all about the Leafs, team-friendly, spread the money out, and just kind of continue to be yourself and do your thing and fade into the background of significance and importance with the team, because a lot of it is based on how much money you make. Right? A lot of the analysis of the team is who's making the most money and what are the expectations of that guy. John is not going to be in a very different spot than what he was the last 7 years. But, in 2 or 3 years, maybe he is a $4.3 million player. Maybe he's a $3 million player. I don't know. The Nyes deal is more significant because it's a 6-year deal, $7.75 million. It's a good ticket. It's a lot of money for guys who played in the league for 2 years. But he wanted to stay. He didn't want the offer sheet stuff. He loves it here. He loves being with Matthews. And I don't think, he could have played hardball here. He could have played a tougher hand of poker than he did, from my perception. Man. And I appreciate that greatly, because I think it was long overdue. And I credit Brad Treliving first and foremost for saying we want to be treated like the 31 other teams. There's no Toronto, boost because we're the Leafs and it's so crazy here and all that kind of stuff. And this is just 2 more examples, and I know I'm droning on here, 2 more examples of stuffing the players don't want to play here garbage in the locker, which is where it deserves to be, right? Because you're hearing that now with Mark. Well, players don't want to be here. Fans running people out of town? No. John Tavares and Matthew Nyes said, where can I sign, please? I'm dying to be a Maple Leaf. That's the reality. There are some players that love it, some players that don't, but there's no, this is too crazy, your fans are too crazy, or the pressure's too much, I can't be here. That's completely bogus.
I got a ton of respect for Matthew Nyes. We talked about it near the end of the season, or the idea, people were tossing out the ideas of the offer sheets. Who the hell doesn't want to play in a great hockey city, play with Austin Matthews, and be the first-line left winger? And it's not like he's making chump change. How long is the deal? That's a big number. 6 years?
6 at 7.7, right?
Yeah, 7.75. Yeah.
Yeah, like 6
number.
at 7.75. Last time I checked, you're set for life after that. And then you could go with the King Daddy Topper after that one's over. Life's going to be great for you. And he could have said, let's just get some offer sheet on some team in some area. I don't care less what it would have been, and I'm just going to move to take the cash. How happy would you actually be? And I love that. Just like you said, Hayes, he wanted to be a Maple Leaf. He wanted to play with Austin Matthews, and he wanted to get it done. Yeah, I got a ton of respect for both of those contracts. As far as the Tavares contract, I do like the idea that he said, look, man, I just want to play here. Let's make something happen. So it's great he's in the fold. But I just have to ask this, I hope this is the last time that I have to discuss the John Tavares. It's great he's in the fold, but I want to know, in a Game 5, Game 4, 5, 6, and 7, how are you going to win a playoff series with him on your roster? That's what I want to know. How is he going to be a main contributing positive factor? Well, it's great you got him at a number you wanted, but that's my next question. How are you going to win with him on your team?
Well, I think there is a different mix a little bit, and it depends on where he factors in.
He's still going to be one of the main guys, Jamie. It's not like he's going to be getting spot duty.
Well, that's I guess the $1 million question is, if the team looks a little different next year, because it's not going to look amazingly different, but you are going to have to allocate Mitch Marner's money to upgrading, or at least
they got money that they're kind of going to weaponize here, right? They got flexibility for the first time in a long time.
And the team is going to look different or feel a little bit different without Mitch Marner there. But it comes back to the comment that Hayes said at the start of the show. A lot of teams are keeping the players that they have and saying, you know what, maybe Florida was the outlier. Maybe Florida is just, hey, we don't run into Florida and we're a pretty damn good team. That's kind of what you're seeing the message throughout the league is everyone's dying to keep their own players.
That is crazy.
Honest to God.
Yeah,
you're seeing
that's
that.
What it sounds like. It like Winnipeg's trying to keep Ehlers, and I don't know about Vancouver and